Republic Presidential Library by a sitting president. Items in here from the time of his birth until the time of his death in 1945. 17 million paper documents, 52,000 books, 35,000 museum objects. This building is open until 6 o'clock. Your tickets here are good for 2 days. Then I'm going to walk you over to the house. In between the library and the home, there's a driveway. It's the original driveway to the property when the Roosevelts purchased this property in 1867. It's called the Old Home Road, and it would hold special meaning for FDR. In 1921, at the age of 39, FDR contracted polio. We think he picked it up at a Boy Scout camp at a place called Bear Mountain, New York. Actually, the Harriman State Park. It's a little south of here, other side of the river. He's down there attending a Boy Scout jamboree, came home here for about a week, and then went to visit Eleanor and the children who were vacationing at Campobello Island, which is off the coast of Maine in the Provence of New Brunswick. That's where he came down with the polio. After many, many months of therapy, he returns home here to Springwood, and his mission when he returns home is to walk the length of this driveway using crutches. Starting here at the house, going all the way down to the end, which today is Route 9. Back then it was the Albany Post Road. Excuse me. How many folks got a chance to see the video in the auditorium? If you didn't, every half hour in the auditorium, they show a video, and in the video it goes into the struggle that FDR had on trying to walk this driveway using crutches. Keep in mind, from August 1921 on, FDR does not walk independently. 1921, when he came down with the polio, in between jobs. 1910, he's elected from this county to the state senate in Albany, the state capital here in New York, for two-year terms. Before the end of the second term, he resigned to go to Washington, D.C. as the Assistant Secretary of the Navy under Woodrow Wilson. Other than being president, this is the job that FDR loved the most. He loved the Navy, he loved the sea. 1919, 1920, the Democrats wanted FDR to be their vice presidential candidate, to run with a man by the name of James Koch from Ohio. And they were soundly defeated by two Republicans by the name of Hyde and Coolidge. And as you well know, Calvin Coolidge went on to be president himself. Due to the polio, FDR's out of politics up until the year 1928. And then with the help of his wife Eleanor, his good buddy Louis Howe, he ran for governor here in 28, elected in 28, then again in 1930. Back then they were 2-year terms, now they're 4. And then 1932, as you well know, he ran for president. He's elected the 32nd president. 1932, 1945, World War II, and the Great Depression. Folks along the way, if you have any questions, please sing out. Then I'm going to walk you over to the house. In front of the house, another little driveway. We go over a quarter of a mile, we would have ran into this man's house. His name, James Roosevelt, better known as Rosie. He was FDR's half-brother. He was 28 years older than FDR. Rosie married a lady by the name of Helen Astor. If you're not familiar with the Astors, they were one of the richest families here in the early 1900s. Helen and Rosie had 2 children. And when Rosie worked, he was actually an ambassador to Europe for a while. This is why I lose my voice by the end of the day. I'm not bad in the beginning, but by the end of the day, I sound like Barry White, just so you know. Questions before we get you started? It's about a quarter of a mile walk to the house, and this is a bad walk. Our first stop is going to be the Rose Garden where the Roosevelts are buried. I'm going to tell you a little bit about that, a little bit about the outer buildings, and then I'm going to get you over to the house. But for folks that have a difficult time walking, in a few minutes, there will be a tram out here to my left. Keep in mind it's for the folks that have a difficult time walking. If you were here the other morning when I had a motor coach group of about 50 people and it was torrential rain, everyone had a difficult time walking, believe me. Any quick questions before we get you started? Well, once again, my name is Ray. If you have any along the way, please sing out. If you need a ride outside, we'll be there shortly. If you're walking with me, we're going this way.